Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Terry Bell, and I'll be your webinar host today. I'm the marketing manager here at sMedia. First, I'd like to thank you all for attending. We're really excited here at sMedia about the digital transformation that is taking place, not just in our industry, but globally. And we've been going through our own digital transformation here. We're really focused on empowering individuals and dealerships and the industry through tech enablement and the partnerships that come out of that. So that's why we're really happy to have you here with us today. We hope you see as much potential for a more empowered future as we do. Our objective today really is to showcase our Solutions Hub and explain how the beta testers have found the solution and anticipation for our rollout coming very soon to all of our customers. So let's just give a quick intro to our panelists today. We have Reese Albrecht from Bannister Auto Group. We have Keaston Gibson from Performance Auto Group. Give a wave there. Thank you very much. We have Jared Emsley, our COO, Regent Hinchcliffe, our CEO, and Aaron Richmond, our ad operations manager. They'll all be speaking today. Let's take a quick look at the agenda we have for you. So first, we're going to jump right into it and get an introduction to that Solutions Hub with Aaron Richmond. Then we're going to get some feedback from Reese from Bannister Automotive Group, who's been part of our beta test, and get some of the insights that he's gotten out of that so far. And then our CEO, Jarrett's really going to dig into what's coming next in the Solutions Hub. There's a lot of really exciting stuff. We'll do some polls, a Q&A, and then our panel will be about empowering dealers through collaboration and tech enablement. I'm really looking forward to that. And then we're going to have an open Q&A at the end. So let's get it kicked off. Aaron Richmond, our ad operations manager. She's an automotive marketing consultant, former director of marketing, and former customer success manager here at sMedia. Aaron is going to take us through the Solutions Hub dashboard. And Aaron, take it away. I'm excited.
Thanks, Terry. I will just share my screen. Having come from a marketing background and running campaigns on multiple platforms, I know all too well the challenges that a marketing manager can face having to hop between multiple tabs and multiple platforms to really get an understanding of performance and dive in on how campaigns are doing. And then add on top of that the complexity of a general manager or general sales manager coming at you with questions on performance or what we're doing here and there. So the goal with this dashboard is to empower marketing managers as well as general managers and general sales managers to be able to log in and see all of their activity with sMedia and digitally in one place. And I think that this dashboard is a really great place for that to happen. It gives you a lot of KPIs right at your fingertips without having to jump between platforms. So when you log into the dashboard, you will see this kind of initial screen, which is meant to give you kind of an overview on all things sMedia and your digital ads. So if you're an sMedia customer, you will know all too well that we use Engage Prospects to evaluate campaigns and traffic. So that will be kind of the top metric that you see here at the top of the page. So you'll have your total Engage Prospects for the given time period, and you can manipulate that time period over here on the right. So we're going to look at the past month for data. You'll quickly see that you've got your total sMedia ad spend right at the top as well. So really easy to see where you're at for that period or in the current month. And I should mention that this data is also live. So it will show you an accurate picture of what's happening. The next thing you'll see here is your estimated average cost per sale and your estimated cars sold. Now, a dealership can actually input their sales data themselves. So let's say you have a general sales manager who's really interested in tracking sales and how much digitally it's costing you to sell a car. They can actually come over here to our sales data input. And there's a couple ways that you can enter this information. So you can enter a total number of sales by day. You can toggle this to go daily new versus used sales, and you can, again, enter those by day. Or if you're in a hurry, like we all are, and you just want to put in the last month of data, you can put that in here as well. And then you'll click Submit and Save, and that'll be reflected throughout the dashboard. So I'm going to go back to our dashboard screen, and we'll carry on from here. So our estimated cars sold are already in there. You can also see our engaged prospects per sale. So the number of engagements on the website that you'll need to make a sale or that were required to make a sale in the last month. And I should add, if you're looking at any of these metrics and you're not sure what they are, you can actually hover over the little eye icon and get a definition of what that metric is. So on the dashboard, you'll quickly be able to scroll down, get an overview of your campaign performance for the given date range. So you've got impressions, sessions, link clicks, and cost per engaged prospect at a quick glance, super easy to find. Then you've got your traffic sources by day breakdown here for the given time period. You can see here at the bottom of this graph that you can actually layer in other metrics to have kind of a side-by-side evaluation of what's happening. Additionally, you can zoom in or pan on any date range to get a more dialed in look at what's going on for any particular date range. I'm going to just zoom back out to a full month view, and then I can actually export this data. So, you know, your general manager, your general sales manager needs a report. You can download these as a graphics file or as an Excel file. So super simple to use and add into your monthly reporting. You'll also be able to see your campaign spending analysis by platform. So you've got Google, Facebook, and then you'll also have Bing if that's applicable. And then one of my favorite parts of the dashboard is actually those top 10 campaigns, where it actually shows you the campaigns that are performing the best based on the metric that you've chosen. So right now we've got cost per engaged prospect selected, and I can see here that my sMedia lookalike carousel is only 54 cents per engaged prospect, which is fantastic. I'm happy about that. And if I can make a quick decision or recommendation on the fly to add budget or dig in deep as to why this campaign is performing so well. Alternatively, if I wanted to look at how many sessions a given campaign was sending me or impressions or cost per click, I could do that here as well. And really quickly just see what my top performers are or toggle this information to be from worst to best if I wanted to see, where I should be eliminating spends or budgets. And then finally, you've got a breakdown on spending by platform for the last few months, just so that you can see kind of where you're at compared to previous months and how that's going. So super convenient kind of KPIs right at your fingertips. If you wanted to dig down a little bit into the rest of your campaigns and get a little more granular, you'd go to your campaign performance over here on the left-hand side. And right at the top, you can see the date range stayed the same. You've got your traffic distribution report. So this is broken down for engaged prospect metrics. And again, you can change it depending on the metric you actually want to evaluate. And in the pie chart, you can see here the different sources that would be sending you those engaged prospects. And if you click on any one of them, it'll give you a breakdown on those source mediums based on that metric. So again, super easy to navigate, very easy to use. Scrolling down, this is where we get a little more granular based on our channel. So we can actually look at Google ads, Facebook ads, and Bing ads if applicable. So I'm going to look at Google ads to start. And you can see here that you can sort by new or used or all. And then you can also sort by which ad type you've got running. So if you had the Performance Max or YouTube campaigns or any custom campaign, you would also be able to see that here. And then you can search as well. So let's say I wanted to just search for any new, you can use that function here and pull that up. Additionally, we have a filter on this data, so you can filter it. Say you wanted to know, which campaign spent less than $200 last month or more than 5. You can use these filters to manipulate that data. Then I should also say that you can also export this if you're a data nerd like me, and you want to pull this into an Excel spreadsheet to do some further analysis. You can do that using any of these export or download buttons that you'll find throughout the dashboard. And the other thing that's really nice with this dash is you actually have metrics that you wouldn't normally find in analytics. So usually when you're looking at CPC traffic, you'll have to, and that's cost per click traffic, you'll have to jump between Google Ads and Google Analytics, whereas here it's all pulled into one. So you'll have engaged prospects alongside search impression share, alongside cost per click and click-through rate, which is fantastic to really get a whole picture of what's happening with those campaigns. And then when we look at Facebook, it gets even better just because Facebook has additional conversions and metrics that you wouldn't normally find in analytics. You'll find those in the dashboard as well. So you can see here we've got spend, and then you've got your reach, your frequency, which again, if you're an sMedia customer, that's something that we talk about when we're evaluating campaigns, engaged prospect metric, your cost per engaged prospect, and then like website content views. If you've got AIA ads, you'll have Facebook leads and landing page views, find location, clicks to call, all those good things that you would normally find in the Facebook backend right here, right at your fingertips without having to jump around too much. So really, really easy campaign analysis, super simple to use, and again, empowering digital marketing managers to get that data without having to use up too much of their time. And then I would also add the other thing, and one of the questions that customer success managers get asked often at sMedia is what actually is showing in my ads. So if we go to inventory preview over here on the left-hand side, you'll actually find a list of all of the inventory that we've got in your Facebook ads pulled into one list. So you can see the inventory. You can scroll down if you want, or you can use a search button or a search bar to navigate through that inventory. You can also filter it out through stock type, year, make, model, those basic kind of filters. One thing that I really like is that you can click on view and you can actually see the ads in a live format. Now it'll only be the single image ad, but it's still really helpful to have an idea of which template is running and what the copy is on those ads. And then you can just click through to see the various inventory types that are running. So ultimately, at the end of the day, as a marketing manager, I know this would be a huge time saver for me. It would also help to connect the rest of the team who's maybe not in here on the day-to-day and give them some transparency into what's happening with their digital advertising. So I think it's a very valuable tool. And that's it for me.
Thanks, Erin. Wow, that's a lot of information in a short period of time. I would like to bring in Reese now, Albrecht from Bannister Automotive Group. Reese is one of our beta testers for the dashboard for the Solutions Hub. He's had some experience with it, used it quite a bit, and has some feedback to share from that. So, Reese, what features of the dashboard did you find the most value in?
Yeah, hey, thanks for inviting me to be a part of this. Yeah, I was pretty stoked to have access to the beta version of the dashboard and to give some feedback. For me personally, just maybe to give a background of our group, we're 15 stores right now. We're adding another one next week, actually. But when I started, we had 10, and we're kind of one of those sort of small to medium-sized groups that are figuring out that you have to centralize a lot of things. And so that's what me and my small team of people do, is we're brought in to build out and centralize the marketing efforts of everyone. But the problem with that is that all of these different little stores that were used to being siloed all the time kind of had their own methods, they had their own vendors. And so getting accurate information has been a struggle this entire time. And so what I really appreciated about the dashboard coming out, because about half of my stores are using sMedia to some degree. So the ability to go to one place to get the information that I need at any time is so insanely valuable to me, because I get GMs that just call me and have a question, and if I can go to one place to get that information, it's so much easier than having to go to 7 different places, right? So from that perspective, it's been a huge hit that I just know where I can go to get the data. Second big thing, reporting to my GMs takes an enormous amount of time for me and my team. Historically, again, because we had to go to a bunch of different places to get the relevant information to them. With the dashboard now, it's simply just taking screenshots or downloading PNGs, and we can compile our reports in a fraction of the time that we used to. That's been a huge benefit for us. I had something else queued up. What was it? Oh, for me personally, again, like I'm a huge data nerd. And so the ability to dive into the campaigns themselves in the same window that I have all this other information has been insanely valuable. My experience with sort of the team at sMedia has always been really good, where we've been able to dive into the campaigns, but that's only kind of ever happened at our monthly sort of meetings. So the ability for me to then actually do this sort of mid-month and mid-cycle and just get more prepared for what is upcoming has been a huge benefit to me. So if I had to pick 3 things, I would say that's probably it.
I'd like to highlight something as well. Like Reese is this is a very collaborative thing, and it's an iterative journey of continuous improvement, and working with professionals like Reese, who are talented at their job, is really helping us understand how do we speak that language to the GMs, and how do we help Reese show that value and show the impact he really is making, and working together, we're able to do that. So thanks, Reese, for all your feedback and engagement with this.
Yeah, and maybe even to jump on that too, I think one thing I really appreciate about you guys is, especially right at the sort of early iterations, I had a lot of comments about just the way that the data was being visualized, because in my experience, like I have a wide range of GMs that I report to, that some of them are super into the data and they can go into their own analytics and understand what they're looking at, and others are exactly the opposite, right? Like they speak of Facebook in the same way that, you know, our parents used to call all video games Nintendo, right? Like they just don't understand the nuance of it. And so being able to show data and show like what important data is, or what data should be important to them in an effective way to communicate not only to the smartest of us, but the more smart challenged of us, I think it was really important, and you guys have really incorporated a lot of the feedback that I had, so I appreciate that.
So how have
Thanks,
you
Reese.
involved other team members at the dealership in the dashboard?
Yeah, and again, this comes down to just every store is its own kind of unique creature right now. A couple of my stores have their own marketing people in place that have access to the dashboard and can actually go in and look at it themselves. A number of my stores I was able to give the GM access that they can go in and, you know, in real time see what is being performed. That has been a huge project for me over the 3+ years that I've been in this position, is not only getting the data, but getting like accurate data and getting useful data. And so being able to give a GM access where they can actually go and get it themselves, for a few of them, that is super valuable. For the most part, it's me and my team that's spending time in here, and then compiling this into a report that then we email to them, because that tends to be how they receive it best.
Okay. So you were mentioning, how nice it was to be able to get all the various reports in one place. Has that actually had an impact on productivity for you? Like, have you seen a time saving from being able to use the dashboard?
Yeah, enormously.
Yep.
So like we're a small team. We run lean. There's 3 of us total, and we for all the different types of reporting that we have to do, and the compiling of it takes probably a week, a little over a week to do at the beginning of the month. So instead of being able to get our reporting out by, like, say, the 12th or the 13th of the month, if we can get it out by the 5th or 6th, that allows us to be so much more nimble going into like the following months. So it's been a huge boon. Yeah.
So any improvements we should be making?
Man, it's hard to think of anything specifically because you've knocked off most of the top things off my list. But even before getting into that, previously, like taking our data and having to make our own data visualizations and making our own charts and stuff like that, that is also the time that now has been saved because the dashboard does it for us. So we just don't have to do that.
So from a communication standpoint to those decision makers within the company, that's definitely been impactful for you. Okay,
absolutely.
Cool. So we've covered most of your asks. Is there anything that you would like it to do that it doesn't do right now?
Yes, the one thing I would like to see is not only the like what we're actually spending on the ads, but having a holistic numbers, like this is how much you spent with all of like taxes and fees and all that kind of stuff added. Because at the end of the day, that's what my GMs care about. They care about the whole dollars that are spent. And so when they ask me how much are we spending on sMedia, right now I have to kind of do the math myself, or I have to go find invoices and stuff like that. So if there was a way to toggle that so I can show this is the total amount of money that we're spending with sMedia, that's my number one ask. Yeah.
So Jarrett's got some really cool features that we're still in development with right now and coming out with soon on the dashboard, and he'll be getting into that in a moment. Yeah. But I mean, like overall, how would you rate your experience with the dashboard? Like, you know, if you get asked by another dealership group, are you recommending it?
Yeah, yes, definitely. It has made my life so much easier. And in comparison to the other sort of vendors that we use or have used, this iteration of the dashboard is easily the best that I've had. It's made my life easy.
Awesome. Great. Anything else you'd like to add, Reese? Appreciate that. That's great feedback.
No, that's all I got right now.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, we're going to turn it over to Jared Emsley, our COO and interim CTO, and he's going to really go through what's next in the Solutions Hub, the functionality that we're developing that goes above and beyond the dashboard functions, and really more into the hub and what it's going to be capable of. So Jared, take us through.
Perfect. Thank you for having me today, everyone. This is exciting stuff. This has been my team's kind of baby, and we really appreciate all the feedback that we've been getting. And it takes all the marketing professionals in the industry to really build a polished product. So I want to take you guys through one of the specific products that we've been working pretty diligently on, and it's our new rendition of our Smart Offer. So to kind of paint a picture to what Smart Offer is a time deployed, essentially pop-up on the website that will allow users to capture different types of lead information. So I'll jump into this, and as we kind of go through, it'll probably paint a better picture. So we've seen a lot of different trends within the industry lately. So whether that's, we're trying to acquire vehicles, or we're trying to take in trades, we're doing new car orders right from the factory, reserving vehicles, but then also the ability to just have a traditional pop-up. So basically what we've done is we've built an interface to allow dealerships the ability to build these pop-up coupons in a way that's really quick, really nimble to do so. So I'm going to take you guys through a quick demo. I'll just do a traditional Smart Offer right now. Smart Offer demo 2022. So what our Smart Offer is it's gives us the ability to deploy a form virtually on anywhere on the website that a user potentially could be served. So when I look at this, basically this gives me a panel to design a pop-up window for whether I want to do a trade and taking in vehicle trades, whether I want to just do a standard contact form, vehicle acquisition, new car orders. What this really does is we built this tool so that right on the fly, we can do things and design a form, essentially quick and easy, right on the spot. The beauty of this is the ability of how quick it is and the ability that you are able to deploy on. So say I were to design this form, as I come down here, I can choose my own creative. So you see the standard image size would be 499 by 450. So basically you can work with your own creative team or outsource your creative, basically upload right from your computer. As I upload that's going to position that right within this frame here. This gives me the ability to tailor what I want in the form. So right now I've got a name, an email, and a phone number. Say I want to do a capture, say vehicle trade details as an example. What this allows me to do is capture the information for potential trades. A beautiful feature as well is, say we serve this on, let's use Ford as an example, a 2022 Ford F-150. If you select this feature, basically what it's going to do is it's going to pass the year, make, and model of the vehicle that's being basically deployed on that website. So I'll show you guys an example here. So when we talk about how we deploy this Smart Offer coupon, do we want this coupon to deploy on all pages? Do we want it to deploy just on the home page? New VDPs, used VDPs, and custom VDPs. So when I talk about custom VDPs, basically a lot of our core functionality is built around scraping technology. So when we're working with any of our partners, that gives us the ability to pull in your specific inventory that's being used. So say I want to serve this coupon on, say, a new model, a used model, specific years. It gives me the ability to really slice and dice where I want a coupon like this to be deployed. The nice thing too is this isn't just fixed to some of the different kind of avenues that I discussed. We also have the ability to deploy it where you can add the URL slug where you want this to go. So when I say URL slug, say you guys have potentially a oil change promotion, wiper blade promotions, service promotions. Basically, it allows me to enter the URL where I'd want this deployed. The beauty of this as well is we've given a lot of advanced features. So once the form is filled out, we give you the ability to customize the messaging that you want to send to your customer. I'm able to also turn that off. But the beauty of it as well is I can quick and easily add where I want this lead details to go. So whether I want it to go to a personal email, a work email, but then also the ability to point that ADF format as well to the desired location. So that's just scratching on the service. We've really kind of dialed in on a lot of the advanced features as well. So as I build templates, I'm able to name the offer name. The template is going to be based on the name for the template will be the template of my choosing. The beauty of this as well is it gives you the ability to deploy multiple of these coupons on your website. So as you see, Smart Offer lead. So as it comes into your CRM, basically dependent on the template of your choosing, it's going to change the source of that, of how that comes into the CRM. So if it's a vehicle acquisition lead, it's going to come in as a vehicle acquisition lead. If it's a trade-in lead, it's going to come in as a trade-in lead. And then we have the ability to kind of on the fly be able to update things like your disclaimer. Where do you want to show your Smart Offer? Is that on a desktop, mobile, tablet? Once you choose the destination of where you want the Smart Offer deployed, what's the time that I want that deployed on? So right now we have 30 seconds. But we also have the really awesome functionality as well to add UTM parameters. So for instance, say you're running a specific service campaign where you've got UTM parameters, you can add the UTM into this section and deploy the Smart Offer when that traffic's coming from specific marketing campaigns. So really lots of awesome functionality. Say a sales manager is trying to get rid of units between $10,000 and $20,000. It gives me the ability to really slice and dice and be really precise on where I want, kind of how I want that Smart Offer to deploy. Once this is all kind of configured, the beauty of it is we also have a lead generation page. So I'll jump out here. So when you go to the lead generation page, this is going to show you how many views that specific Smart Offer received, how many times that Smart Offer was filled up, and the conversion rate associated. And it gives you that time series data. As we scroll down as well, it'll also show you the different lead information that's coming through and how you'd see that in your CRM. So the name of the individual, the email, the phone number, and all the other information that was predominant on that Smart Offer form, but also showing you the segment or template that you utilize to deploy that on. We also gave some cool functionality here. So if you scroll over this I function, it's going to show you which BDP specifically that was deployed on. And you can also copy that to your clipboard. As Aaron mentioned on the campaign performance page, we also do have the ability to export these leads. So, if you ever want to jump in here and really dive into the data, you can have that functionality as well. And yeah, that's kind of what we've got going on right now for the Smart Offer product. I think the beauty of it is the ability and how quick and easy it is to make these decisions and deploy this. When Reese, I want to pick on Reese a little bit here because he was mentioning some of the kind of lifting at the end of the month and the ability to kind of slice and dice. We've got a report that we're just starting here called our third-party vendor analysis or piece. So what that's going to give you is the ability to pull in all of your sMedia ad spend, put in things like your ad tracking fee and management fees. But the beauty of it as well is it gives you the option to also hard code in. So say, let's say test vendor 1, and let's say test vendor 1, you spent $1,500 for the month on a channel of Facebook. Let's say 1% tracking fee with $150 ad spend. Once I click that save feature, it basically gives me the breakdown per vendor and what that looks like for the mix for your specific dealership. But then if I jump over here as well, it's going to show me my breakdown per channel. So whether that's email, whether that's Google ads, Facebook ads, it's really just, at the end of the day, we've been hearing a lot of the feedback and trying to obviously action on that. So it'll tell you your total aggregated spend, but also the management fees associated with that for the previous month. So
it would seem like you teed that up for me, but yeah, this looks good.
Yeah, you didn't even know this was here, did you?
No.
Well, what are your thoughts on that, Reese?
Couldn't have planned it better. When can I get access to this?
Yeah, and just to kind of go back a little bit, this is the tech enablement that we're talking about, really providing tools and handing the keys over to our customers so that they can go in there and sitting in a sales meeting, talking with their sales managers and their GMs and other marketing team, and they're coming up with a specific sales promotion to enable the marketing manager to actually update their lead forms in that meeting before the meeting's even done. Like that's really that's what we call tech enablement. And once again, giving the keys to our clients to do the job on their own and actually make it their own, put their own stamp on it. Yeah. So
for me, the key is that it's live data, that it's not like a report from the last month or the previous quarter, that you can go in there and you can see what happened yesterday or the week before, and that you're able to like use that in a meeting and leverage that information to make decisions.
For sure. And we got Keith in here. I think he's going to be going up, having a conversation about this. Really, kind of once again talking about the collaboration. Really enabling not only our team, but also our clients to be a driving force of the digital transformation and moving the industry forward. And yeah, we got Keeson. He's going to be talking about his collaboration with us on this specific endeavor.
Reese did have a question, and I know there's, when is it available? And that's never a question you want to ask when something's being developed. But can you give us a ballpark sort of down the road idea?
Yeah, for sure. So any of the reporting or functionality that we showed, we're hoping to get deployed basically by March 31st for everyone to be able to participate with. So the Smart Offer is a product that we do sell. So it'd be something if the product's kind of in your wheelhouse, you'll be given that control panel to be able to deploy. It also comes with testing features as well. So if you want to preview what your form looks like and see kind of how the customer experience would look when you select. So when I was going through, so the all pages, home page, new VDP, used VDP, there'll be a little preview option on below as well that will kind of give you that option to see what the customer's experience would look like. So, but March 31st is where we're shooting for, to have all these different reports kind of consolidated and pushed out to your dashboard.
Joining us in this panel now is Keeston Gibson from Performance Automotive. We're going to talk about empowering dealers with tech enablement. And Keeston, I know you had a feature request that stemmed from a performance review with one of your with your customer success manager. Can you maybe explain your feature request and kind of what happened out of that, the value came from to your dealership?
Yeah, so tough act to follow on, everyone. Should have let me go first. So we just basically sat down and we said, hey, we need to make more money, and this is what we get from the GMs. To the other panelist point, each store is different, you know, performance, we have a few different stores too, and each one is its own identity, and they want to do their own things. They have different processes for decision making. So the single dashboard and some of the data has been really beneficial. And if we could just make all the decisions as a marketing director, a data analyst, or working on a digital team, things would be so much easier, but we don't. We have to portray that information to, you know, and present it to the dealerships in a way that they understand, they can make actionable insight. So a quick comment on the new dashboard and the data. One, we've been a partner with sMedia for 5+ years, and one of our stores had a $26,000 a year budget outperform a $200,000 a year paid search budget just this last year. And that's just using the engaged metric with our paid search, with our dynamic display and dynamic search ads, and our Facebook dynamic ads, all off the inventory scrapes without anything extra. No traditional search on this store. It's all dynamic search ads. And yeah, $26,000 a year budget outperformed a tier 2.5 paid search campaign that spent over $200,000. It outperformed it in impressions, engagement. It eclipsed it in impressions, like 800,000 impressions compared to like 320. And we sold a lot more cars off it. When we break down that data, it comes out to be around $190 cost per sale when we really look at it. Because what we found out is the engaged user metrics or the engaged traffic when they land on the website, about 5 to 10% of those are turning into a lead. And then we usually close about 15% of our own website leads into a car sale. So these new reports that you guys are coming out with are finally giving us the tools to show the GMs, like, this isn't voodoo magic. This stuff works, and it works so good that it completely annihilated, a $200,000 budget with 26 grand. And so we're trying to maximize the dynamic search and display in all the stores, because there's only so many customers you can serve those ads to. They got to search for your car, right? You got to have inventory, and there's got to be a customer. So we want to maximize that impression share across our other stores. So that's one of the initiatives we're working on. But then we met with our specialists, and we're like, what else do you guys do? How can we make additional money? And how can we solve some of these problems? As marketers, we're trying to help solve those problems without them just cutting off all their marketing budgets because they think that the cars sell themselves, but we know they don't. So we tailored some of the marketing to solve some of these problems. And Smart Offer is one of those things that helps us do that. So the 3 big problems we have right now is obviously our new car shortage across the board, right? And then that increases the demand for use. So we have a vehicle shortage on new, which basically makes it hard to generate leads on new cars because they're sold before they hit the lot in most cases. And so being able to modify this, and we put in a request to sMedia, and you guys over delivered on the Smart Offer. So now Jared's made it so adaptive, you can basically tune it to your needs. So I'm really excited to join on another call in 6 to 8 months and see what people have done with the tool, because it's not just a static tool, it's dynamic. You can make it work to an individual dealership's needs. And that's pretty awesome. I've never seen that in the industry before. So our specific needs that we wanted to solve are, okay, we don't have any new cars to sell, but we still need to do orders. So having the Smart Offer facilitate that need for the dealerships that can't order new vehicles, and basically say, click to reserve now, or click to reserve an incoming allocation. It sends in a lead to the CRM with a correct lead source. So now we can have automatic emails reply on the exact model that it came in on. And we know that customer is opted in to reserve that vehicle. You can bet your butt that the salesperson is going to follow up on that lead. So right now we've got a Ford dealership and a Lincoln dealership, and almost half of our new car sales are coming from custom orders, because that's what we want, because we get additional allocation for custom orders. So now we took that to our dealer specialist. We're like, can you help us solve this problem? And they basically built out this with Jarrett to have that custom Smart Offer not only act as a reserve function, but now we can put it on a VDP of a new car or an SRP of, you know, if you're sending traffic to an SRP and there's no vehicles there, now you can have a pop-up on that SRP that says, put in your custom order today, get an extra $250 off your order and an extra $500 on your trade, however you want the ad copy to say. And when the sales team gets a new order form, that's like the Goldilocks lead of all leads, right? When you're sitting there and you're like, oh, there's a new order lead in here, like everyone's fighting over that. And 1 out of every 2 is gonna have a trade, which brings us to the other problem that we asked them sMedia to solve. So we're like, okay, cool, you're 2 for 2. Now we need you to solve another problem. The other problem we have in today's economy is vehicle acquisition. So they've also been working with us to build out vehicle acquisition campaigns. I know you guys didn't talk about this on the call, but we're testing some vehicle acquisition campaigns with them too, because we want to bring in that additional traffic to the stores. And then we want to put, you know, the smart offer lead form in front of those customers when they land on the website, and also appeal to everyone with a different message. For example, everyone on the traffic, or all your traffic on the website, basically 50% of them are going to have a trade, right? And most trade tools really suck. They're not dynamic. They're either going to be buried in your digital retailing tool on your website through a script that sucks, or they're going to be an iframe on a web page that you have to go to its own landing page, and you got to put another CTA on your VDP and SRP to push them over to that page. And it completely disengages them from their consumer experience. So the smart offer, that also gives us the ability to get trade leads, and it helps us it gives us a deliverable to meet an individual store's needs. Like, because one store won't need all 3, but at least every one of the stores will need one of those to solve some of the problems we have coming up. So,
Thank you for that.
Thanks, Keiston.
Thanks, Keiston. That's like
I'm well informed.
Yeah, that's really in depth look at how the tool. So, Sherrod, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of collaboration going on here. Can you share with everyone that's here what that looks like as far as if some of the viewers here have feature requests such as Keiston had? What's the best way to go about that, and how does sMedia review these feature requests?
Yeah, you bet. So when you log into the dashboard, at the bottom left-hand side, you're going to see 2 different icons that will float with the page. One will be a bug reporting, which is just as important. If you guys see any hiccups, any bugs, I strongly suggest just put them in. That's how we get better. And then to the right of it, there's also a product feedback feature. So when product feedback features meet, we essentially roundtable all that. We always take every piece of feedback at face value. So any feedback that you have, I strongly suggest pop it in there. A lot of the times, if just make sure you put your name and the location that you're from. Once that's put through, typically what we'll do is try to schedule some sort of 2-way conversation to really do some sort of a discovery call to understand the use case and how we can really tailor that experience for the benefit of your dealership. So, yeah.
Thanks, Sherrod. Regan, where do you? What's your vision as far as where you see the Solutions Hub? And I think it's important to recognize that it's not a dashboard. A dashboard is part of it. It really is a hub. There's a lot we want to do with this. What's your vision as far as where we're going to take this next?
Well, I think it all stems from our own experience and the lessons that we've learned as an organization, especially with the pandemic hitting. The supply chain issues has really highlighted operational deficiencies within our own organization, and really restructuring how we operate as a company has enabled us to build technology to empower our team and our clients to be a driving force behind the digital transformation. And the digital transformation is happening all across the world. It is inevitable, and we've identified there's specific roadblocks in the auto sector that's thwarting its ability to really spread, and the obstacle is the way always, and we're here to help solve those problems. And the idea of technology enablement and really giving the tools to people inside the auto sector and other industries that we decide to work in, the tools to help drive the industry forward and really make an impact in their careers. And so that when the pandemic hit, we it hit all of us, and we were all in that together. And it was just like knee-jerk reactions, cutting budgets, slashing budgets, and really, but where's the data to back up the decisions that we're making? So it impacts us, it impacts our clients, and really we want to empower the marketing managers and the dealerships to have the data to be able to make more informed decisions, and to be able to have the keys in their own, to be in the driver's seat, and really identify what are the obstacles that they're facing inside the dealership, and have the tools for the people inside the auto sector to be empowered to help the dealerships achieve their goals and show that value, instead of it just being delivered to them based on specific needs and desires. So really, technology enablement and empowering people to make an impact in their careers.
I love that. Thank you, Regan. Let's open it up to some Q&A.
I guess while we're waiting, one thing I would add that I didn't before is one thing I have appreciated, especially about the dashboard. We as an organization run like pretty lean, and that only has increased with the pandemic, obviously. And so really dialing into understanding the value of the dollars that we are spending and understanding what we are getting back. The dashboard has really helped with being able to communicate that better to my GMs, and showing them exactly which campaigns we're running and like why we're running them, and allowing, and the fact that it's live has allowed us to change stream quite a bit faster than we historically used to.
Thanks for sharing that, Reese. Appreciate that. Where should dealerships be focusing in 2022? Reese, do you want to address that, and then Keiston?
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Industry, this is where you should go. We as a group have really made a focus of efficiency, and making sure we are spending the money in the right places. You know, I'm actually brand new to the industry. Prior to joining, I was in like video games, and before that I had like I was a photographer and stuff. And so coming from outside the industry, I joined right before the pandemic. And so we went from like, this is how this industry has run for the last few decades, with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pieces of inventory and fighting to get people's eyeballs on it, to now a completely different mindset. And so I feel, I guess, somewhat lucky that I haven't had that sort of years of like, this is how it's done. And coming into it has allowed me to say, okay, well, this is my experience in other industries. Let's apply it to this one. So yeah, ultimately just we are running super efficient as an organization, and making sure that we put that the dollars that we do spend in places where it's going to get the maximum impact.
Yeah, and to touch really quickly on that, just when the pandemic hit, it was cutting budgets that were meant to sell cars, and even now with low inventory, a lot of the strategies have been sell more cars, sell more cars, sell more cars. The opportunity in the pandemic was really taking a step back, and what are other levers that I can pull, and verticals of the profit driving verticals in my business that can help us make more money, not sell more cars. It's all just part of the bigger picture. And that's really what we're aspiring to do, is to enable our clients to have the data available, so that it's not just cut all budgets, it's let's move budgets in other profit driving areas of our business, and here's the data as to why. So you're not losing your budgets, you're just repurposing it. Keiston.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have been told this or not, but you're a lot cheaper than everyone else in the industry. So,
I like to use the word cost effective.
Yeah,
I do not.
There you go. Yeah.
Cost effective.
Cost
all right.
effective.
All right. We got to do some media training.
Yeah, the cost per click is cheaper. Management fees everything is cheaper across the board, and your willingness to work with us as dealers, it's really, you don't find that in digital these days. That's really rare to find, and that's one of the things that, like, I think is it Rye? To Rye's point?
Reese, like the peanut butter cup.
Sorry, Reese. To Reese's point, efficiency is going to be everything, because eventually every wave hits the beach, right?
Yeah.
And it's a big wave right now, but eventually it's going to hit the beach, and things are going to slow down. We don't know when that's going to be. So the dealerships that that optimize efficiency right now are going to be the ones that are, ahead of the curve when that happens, and make the most of the profit right now. And we're really, like, everything that Rye said, it's almost like we're on the same team. Because I could have, it's like I was talking when I was listening to yourself talk on everything you said. So
we're all in this together. It's all,
yeah.
the wave is just happening, right? And that we have to all work together. People inside the industry and supporting vendors have to work together to transform.
Yep.
And it's just, it's the collaborative, iterative journey of continuous improvement. So thanks, guys.
Crazy couple of years too. So our big things this year for the industry is just increasing vehicle acquisition. Of course, those $4,000 swings per unit are going to, keep us from getting bought up by the publicly traded dealers, and then increasing efficiency on your marketing too. So, being able to do those new car orders, those new car reserves with a nice, efficient, small budget that outperforms. I mean, that our Toyota store said it all. It's right next to me. When we saw those numbers, $26,000 outperform a $200,000 budget. I've been in this industry since 2004. I've never seen that. And so I wanted to share it with sMedia. I'm like, I don't know if you guys realize this, but you're really cost effective. I'm a fast learner. So, yeah.
Perfect. Awesome.
Thank
We got
you
a
all.
question here. Thanks, Keeson.
Yeah, we do. How many ads can we make or have active at one time in the dashboard?
Sky's the limit. We can source any data, any campaign that's coming through virtually all the omni channels. So Facebook, Google, Bing, analytics. You got the data, we can bring it in.
Just remember, the sky's not the limit anymore. Space.
Space is the limit. Another question here. I noticed you have a question about attribution reporting. It came up in one of the polls. Is this something that sMedia does?
I can take that one again. Yes, we are in the midst of kind of going through a similar beta to what we're doing with our dashboard product. So we are rolling out kind of in the midst right now of a product called Data Sherpa. So what that is that's going to be a full attribution suite. So what we're working on doing is not only trying to slice and dice the effectiveness of your marketing channels, but also bringing in that offline data set to really tell a picture, to understand not only the conversion path that a user took, but what channels are assisting as well. Another feature that we're looking at doing is more VIN specific reporting. So I've got 20 units on my lot. What am I spending on each specific VIN for my marketing channels, and really having that ability to kind of understand that on a more model specific realm, and then to kind of tie that all together. That is something that we're rolling out for around the same timeline, so towards the end of March as well. So be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, potentially another webinar here that we can walk through the product, but it's something that we've been working really hard to not only become more efficient for our marketing channels, but what we're really trying to do is take that vendor agnostic approach. So not only we're not doing the attribution reporting to just gauge the success of sMedia, we want to take, when I said agnostic, the ability to look at all of your vendors and try to understand, and Regan said it earlier, give you the levers to make decisions. So when you are, have to have those tough decisions, or sorry, tough conversations with any stakeholders, you have the ability to really look at what is being successful in your marketing channels, but also what paths, and it really allows you to help and understand your web experience as well. And do I need to look in the mirror with regards to my website? Is my website being effective? It's not always about looking at the effectiveness of marketing channels. It's also about your website experience. So,
sorry, Jared. The digital transformation is technology enabling the change of business process and highlighting operational deficiencies within a company from multiple, we're using data from multiple angles. And what Jared's talking about is an idea of standardization. So when he says agnostic, we have an objective to really help standardize and provide a level of continuity within the industry. And that's going to be, and through the attribution, really connecting the dots and aggregating all these data sets. The goal is standardization and a standard of which everyone uses to gauge success. Right now, it's kind of the Wild West, and we feel it's because there's been a level of transparency that hasn't been there because of a multitude of different reasons. But the transparency of like, what am I spending and what am I getting out of it? And we're really tackling some of those really big problems in the industry and really want to help move it forward and assist with taking you guys through the digital transformation.
Got another question here, and I'm guessing this will be one for Jared as well. Can I make my GM a login to view statistics, but not surrender any of my editing control?
You betcha. So there'll be a couple different options. There'll be a viewer option, and then there'll be the account admin. So you can give them it's called the observer option. So if there's specific questions, feel free. I'll share my email in here and I can walk you through this kind of how to set that up properly.
Yeah, let me just add to that. Like if you have questions, you can talk to your customer success manager if you're an sMedia customer, and they can certainly help you out with this and help you understand where to go, how to use what part of that dashboard, of that Solutions Hub. We want everyone to be able to leverage this to the full capacity that they can and get as much out of it as Reese does, right? So
Hey, I'd like to give a special shout out to Paco and Justin. Thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, I think this is probably a good place to wrap it. We're a little over time anyways. So I'd like to thank everyone for attending the webinar today. I really appreciate taking the time to join us on this digital transformation journey and see what we're doing collaboratively with you, the dealership, and the marketing managers and the GMs and the individuals to work together and move forward and really give more transparency and the ability to leverage this data for everyone's success. So any last words, Reagan?
Nope. Thanks, everyone.